What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some heated news for you, very emotional, from Kell, Brook, and Errol Spence Jr. They did have a press conference that announced the fight, where it's going to be. It's going to be in Sheffield, England. It's going to be May 27th. It's going down. England has awesome amount of energy when it comes to boxing. It reminds me of how boxing used to be in the 40s and the 50s. Here, when Rocky Marciano and Joe Louis used to fight, it used to be like a baseball game, and now baseball games are not like baseball games, you know what I'm saying? So they used to, draw that kind of crowd, but it's alive and well in England. Boxing is, and I love it, because I remember the Golovkin Brook fight that, the fans were ecstatic, the energy was really high, and I love it, and these guys are going back and forth with each other, stating what they're going to do to each other. It's getting heated, and it's real. You can tell when something's kind of fake, it's artificial. This sounds authentic. These guys really want to get in each other's shit, and a lot of back and forth talk, and they're doing things to get up under each other's skin, and you got Spence over there. He's more calm and collective in a sense, and he's saying stuff like, "Hey, you only fought two guys, Golovkin, you got your eyebrow broke, and you beat Porter, and that's it. Who else have you fought?" Well, Kell Brook was like, "Hey, well, you beat Algeria, a pillow puncher, and a 40-year-old Bondu. Who else have you fought?" You know what I mean? Except for Vargas, guys like that, the last guy that Samuel Vargas, the last guy that Danny Garcia knocked out before losing to Thurman, right? So, guys like that, but are not really on the level, and they were going back and forth, and the trainers got into it, so it was a trainer thing, and the trainer with the fighter, then the fighter on the other trainer. It was a big fiasco, and that only makes and sets the stage for a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they're talking, it's going to be emotional. And when you have an emotional fight, you have two guys in there that want to take each other's head off, that's what you're going to have. And it's very healthy. It leaves holes in their defense, because their mentality is to take each other's head off. It's to inflict pain. It's to hurt that other person. Punching with bad intentions. And the thing about Spence, he punches with bad intentions anyway when he rips to the body. And all of his punches, you see he draws back. You know what I mean? Some of his punches are a little telegraphed, you know what I mean? Especially when he gets someone hurt, but a lot of guys' punches are like that. But I see more of Spence when he does that. He walks down his fighters. I love the way he fights, though. He's aggressive. He rips to the body. He puts interest in the bank with those body punches. And some of them just stop you. You know what I'm saying? He's just a hard punching guy. The question is, can Kell Brook keep up with that? And I think he can. I think that Kell Brook has the type of experience in his history that he can deal with that. I think he had his pound of flesh with Golovkin, because Golovkin is a hard thumping guy too. Styles make fights, of course. But I think that he learned enough in the Golovkin fight that he figures mentally, because it's a good mental challenge and a mental setting too. You just fought a middleweight, one of the monsters at the middleweight, or quote unquote monsters at the middleweight division, right? So you don't have to really worry about what a welterweight brings to the table, But a concern I do worry about. This is what concerns me about Kell Brook. Kell Brook, was having problems gaining weight. Losing. Well, he had problem losing weight and making that 147-pound weight, and that was one of his decisions to go and fight Golovkin. Okay, and I already stated this in one of my, recent videos. But the thing is, can he make that weight? And because he mentioned it, so it had to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it's a problem then, it's going to be a problem now, especially fighting at a different weight class. On top of that, you got his orbital bone. You know what I mean? Has that properly healed? Because anybody, I honestly think that he kind of, you got to give him full credit, Kell Brook, for taking this fight. Because I think, honestly, he had legitimate reasons why he shouldn't have fought Errol Spence right now. Because, I mean, he just fought Golovkin late last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't that long ago. You know, and I don't think he had the proper time for that eye to heal. You know, and I'm not really making excuses for this guy. It's just I wouldn't have done it. But what is he going to do? He fought, like he said, he fought too hard for his belt, and he wanted to keep his belt. You know what I mean? And he didn't want to get stripped. So he decided to fight one of the most avoided young, strong, hungry fighters from America, Errol Spence Jr., you know. And you got to take your hat off to him. And Errol Spence, man, he is a guy, he's a reckoning. You know, he's inexperienced, but he's like a young tiger or a young lion. And he's ready to hunt. He's ready to take on the rhino. He's ready to take on the warthog. He's ready to take on the leopard. He's ready to take on the hyena. He's ready to take on anything in his way. And you can tell because of how he talks about other fighters and he critiques other fighters. You know, he knows his boxing. You know, he's an Olympian, you know, so he has a good amateur pedigree. He knows these things. But the whole thing about it is, man, he hasn't had the experience. And that's going to be the problem. He wants to do all these things, but he hasn't done it yet. That's the major thing. Until he gets in there and shows you, you're not going to know. You know? So you don't show, you will never know. So this fight looks like it's going to be a great fight. I look forward to this fight. I will give my fight study about it. So stay tuned for that. I got to watch some more videos about it. But you guys, please subscribe. And this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. You've been counterpunched. Peace.